Hello again, football friends. Cav1892 here. Today we're looking at 92 rated right wing Manuel Francisco dos Santos, aka Mané Garrincha. I have huge aspirations for this card and I've wanted to upgrade my right wing for quite some time from 90 rated George Best, so I hope this card doesn't turn out to be a fraud. Before I get into the review, if you'd like to see more content and reviews, please smash that like button and hit subscribe. It's free to do and it really helps me to drive out more content for you all. I won't bore you any further, so let's get right into the review. So looking at his player bio, immediately you'll notice the most exciting part of this card being the 5-star 4-star combo, which should convert into a lot of fun in game. He comes with a small 5'7" frame. I believe his body type is short and lean, so that should give natural agility in game. He has a medium attacking work rate and a low defensive output, so again, we'll have to see how these convert on the pitch, but we may need to keep an eye on his involvement in games, and he could be the type that needs manual instructions. He currently costs 1.7 million on the PS5, so he does command a pretty hefty fee. His attributes detail screen looks pretty strong, and he should pack everything you'd want in a right wing. Bags of pace, good shooting, and absolutely stacked passing and dribbling. Those long and short passing stats, along with his dribbling and ball control, look particularly high. Nothing too noticeable between his defending and physical, but 83 stamina, it should hopefully be enough with those work rates to get him through competitive matches. On to traits, and you'll see he has the flair trait, which is always fun and nice to have. Power free kick, I don't tend to use it, but we'll take note of that and see if it comes to use. And he has some CPU dribbling traits which go hand in hand with the face stats he has. Okay, let's get into some gameplay. First, let's take a look at Garrincha's pace. I was expecting him to be a rocket, given those high pace stats and his small, agile frame. But I must say I was slightly disappointed and left longing for better. He's not slow, he's just not got top end speed either. He's got decent speed over a short burst or distance, but on any sort of long sprint, his small strides mean he'll get caught by any reasonably quick defender. Overall, I'd say 89 is a more accurate representation of where his pace lies. Garrincha's base shooting stats look decent, but without anything wild, and that's exactly how they play out in game. His attacking positioning is decent, whenever he decides to make a run that is. As opposed to other cards whereby you often don't feel the medium attacking work rate, Garrincha is one of the laziest players I've used. Whether it was in central positions or on the wing, I found him way too passive in play and rarely making proactive runs to unsettle the opposition defence. When he does make them, they are excellent though, and definitely a strong feature of the card. His finishing accuracy itself is quite decent, but probably one of the biggest cons of the card is his low shot power. More often than not, I found goalkeepers getting to his strikes and it was rare they flew past unless it was a certain chance. He doesn't tend to miss easy ones, he just doesn't score the half chances or low chances very often at all. When you switch to a 4-star weak foot, the effects of his low shot power are even more pronounced. Overall, I'd say 84 is about accurate here. If there's a category where Garrincha shines, it's in passing. He has a metronomic consistency to his passing, generally fine off both feet, and you'll find you love getting the ball to him so that he can put other players into scoring positions. His true balls are wild at times, and he finds gaps and angles that often seem unfair. Because he's so consistent in this category across the board, there isn't really a pass that he doesn't have in his locker, and whether you're playing an over-the-top true ball or a double tap pass around the corner, you'll be hoping that each time Garrincha is the one who's trying to unlock the door. His crossing is also noticeably good, albeit more difficult to score from crosses in FIFA 21. Garrincha can certainly whip a ball, and those low-driven crosses are a joy to play. Overall, I'd say 93 is fair, as he slightly exceeded expectations for me. This was the category where I felt Garrincha was going to blow me away. I expected huge things, and again, perhaps that's why I felt shortchanged after using him throughout a whole weekend league. It's not that his dribbling is poor, it's just not what you expect based on those cracked stats combined with 5-star skill moves. In particular, I felt many of his skill moves were executed at average speed, and some such as the Elastico were often poor on exit, and there was a short delay before I could shoot or chain another move into the dribble. Garrincha's left stick dribbling is very good in fairness, but again, I wouldn't claim it to be top tier, and I've certainly used more responsive players whose stats aren't as impressive. So perhaps he pays the penalty for sub 90 agility and balance. He rarely sees the benefit of dribbling stickiness that the CR7s and Rashfords tend to get, so again I was left disappointed. Overall, I would give Garrincha a lower than expected 90 in dribbling. I don't think many people set out to buy Garrincha's card on the expectation of his defending being decent, and well, that's a good thing because he's not interested in the slightest. His low defensive work rate could really not be lower, and whether you instruct him to come back or not, he really couldn't care less. You can use his pace and agility to get the odd interception here and there manually, but good luck making tackles or getting a block in. It took me a long time to get any relevant footage of Garrincha contributing, and that really says it all. Overall, I'd give him a rating of 25, and even that's generous. Garrincha's physical should be looked at with one major plus and one expected minus. The negative, he's quite weak. The wind won't blow him over, but he has no strength to protect the ball. His lack of aggression is also noticeable, and again you go into most contact expecting to come off second best. His jumping is also relatively pointless. He ain't going to win anything unless he's jumping with someone that's equally small. As for the positive, his stamina lasts quite well, and you can see out the 90 without much trouble. I like that he always seemed to maintain good speed, even in the last quarter of games. He won't make 120 though, unless you really look after him. All things considered, Garrincha feels like the 67 rating he's been gifted by EA. So coming to the summary, this is a decent card, there's no doubt about that, but does he live up to expectations? I guess it depends on what you are hoping this card will be. Looking at the key stats in his price, I'd expected crazy dribbling based on his low frame and unbelievable passing. I got half of what I asked for, but overall I walked away from this card happy to recoup my coins and redeploy them elsewhere. For the pros, Garrincha's passing is borderline ridiculous at times, and you can shred opposition defences if given the space to do so. Definitely without a doubt, the best feature of this card. The 5-star skills are also solid, but without being super quick on transition, and overall his pace is decent too. And that was about all I could find to love with this card. The cons list is much deeper, with weak shot power and lack of key shooting traits really affecting his finishing, and his work rates make it hard to get him involved in games. Unless you plague him with specific instructions or constantly trigger his runs, he can just go missing or get marked out of matches quite easily. He's noticeably weak too, although not unexpected, it is still another downside to this card. Chem styles are quite straightforward with this card. I don't think you can look past a hunter to max out that pace, although an engine might make sense if you want that extra bit of agility, particularly in central areas. I don't see the point in using a hawk, since you won't see the benefit of that physical boost, unless you really want to hype that shot power and long shots, but it didn't work for me. Overall, I'd give Garrincha an 87 rating. There were just too many disappointing areas for me, and too many weaknesses in his game. In the right system, there's no doubt he has the potential to shine, but I would not fear seeing him on my opponent's team sheet in Weekend League. Stay tight to him with a quick, larger body defender like Walker or Kleiber and push him onto his weak foot, and it'll stop him causing too many issues. In terms of value, his value primarily follows his icon links and nationality, the lack of options at right wing, and of course the 5-star skills. But if we're talking in terms of in-game performance, he just doesn't do it for me, and I was keen to liquidize my coins as quick as possible. I would give him a 70 for value, and I think he would be fairer priced at 1, maybe 1.1 million or thereabouts. So that concludes the video. Before you go, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more reviews and content, as I can't do this without your support, which has been phenomenal to date. Thanks for watching, football friends, and I'll hopefully see you all in the next video.